There comes a moment when everything feels stagnant. You wake up, go through the motions, and wonder how you ended up here, uninspired, drained, stuck in the same loop. The days blur together, and deep down you know something isn't right. But feeling stuck is not a life sentence. It's a signal. It's a whisper from within telling you it's time to wake up, time to break the cycle, time to remember who you are and what you're capable of. Most people wait for a breakthrough, hoping inspiration will strike. But here's the truth, it won't. Inspiration doesn't appear out of thin air, you create it. You build momentum, and then the fire returns. The mistake we make is thinking we need to have everything figured out before we move. That's a lie. Clarity comes through action. The only way to get unstuck is to shake things up, to disrupt the pattern, to do something, anything, differently than before. When you feel lost, change something, no matter how small. Switch up your routine. Take a different route to work. Read a book on a topic you've never explored. Say yes to an opportunity you'd normally turn down. Stagnation thrives in predictability. The more you stretch beyond what's familiar, the more your mind wakes up to possibility. And while you're at it, move your body. Physical movement shifts your energy. Go for a walk. Hit the gym. Dance in your living room. The mind and body are connected, and when you shake off the physical weight, the mental fog starts to lift too. You can't think your way out of feeling stuck. You have to move your way out. Then start asking yourself better questions. Instead of why am I stuck, ask what is this trying to teach me? Instead of what's wrong with me, ask what do I need to do right now? Your mind will always find an answer to the questions you ask. So make sure you're asking ones that move you forward, not keep you trapped. And be careful with your words. The way you speak to yourself in these moments matter more than you realize. When you're stuck, your mind plays tricks. It tells you that this is how things will always be, that you're behind, that nothing will change. But that's just the voice of habit, clinging to what it knows. You must challenge it. Instead of saying, I don't know what to do, try, I'm figuring it out. Instead of saying, I've wasted so much time, try, I'm learning from this moment. Words shape perception, and perception shapes action. And most importantly, take the pressure off yourself. People get stuck because they're too focused on finding the perfect solution, the right path, the big breakthrough. But progress isn't about massive leaps. It's about small, consistent steps. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to take the next step in front of you. And remember, this feeling is temporary. You won't feel stuck forever. You won't feel lost forever. There is a future version of you who is broken free, who has found their spark again, who looks back at this moment and realizes it was just part of the journey. But to meet that version of you, you have to move. You have to stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop convincing yourself that you need the perfect plan before you begin, because you don't. What you need is momentum. You need a spark, and that starts the moment you decide that being stuck is not where your story ends. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not when things feel easier, but right now. Move, and everything changes. Your potential isn't set in stone. What you know, what you're capable of, and who you can become, it's not limited to what you were born with. The greatest separator between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who don't isn't talent, it's mindset. And the mindset that drives success, resilience, and constant improvement is the growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and effort. It's understanding that failure isn't a dead end, it's feedback. It's seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as obstacles to overcome. It's choosing to learn from mistakes rather than letting them define you. Many people operate with the fixed mindset. It's believing their intelligence, talents, and abilities are set at birth. They avoid challenges, fearing failure will expose their shortcomings. They see effort as pointless if they don't succeed immediately. They view feedback as criticism instead of an opportunity to improve. On the other hand, a person with a growth mindset sees setbacks as just part of the journey. They embrace what's difficult because they understand that struggle leads to progress. They actively seek out feedback, not to validate their worth, but to refine their approach. They don't fear being bad at something new, they see it as a challenge to get better. If you've spent years operating with a fixed mindset, don't worry, change is possible. So here's how to start shifting your perspective. First, reframe failure as a lesson. Every mistake carries a lesson if you're willing to learn from it. The most successful people aren't those who never fail, but those who refuse to let failure define them. Instead of saying I failed, say I learned. Challenge your own limiting beliefs. Stop telling yourself you can't do. Instead, start asking, how can I improve? Talent might open doors, but perseverance is what keeps them open. Whatever skill you want to develop, it's consistent effort that'll get you there. Embrace the process. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Progress isn't always linear. Some days you'll feel like you're moving backward. That's normal. But if you stay committed, keep learning, and refuse to quit, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Surround yourself with the right people. Mindsets are contagious. If you spend time around people who complain, make excuses, and accept mediocrity, you'll absorb that mentality. But if you surround yourself with those who push themselves, who embrace discomfort, who keep striving, you'll be influenced in the best way possible. Speak to yourself like you would a friend. Your inner dialogue matters. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, you're wiring your brain to believe it. Instead of saying, I'll never be able to do this, shift to, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better every day. Life isn't about being perfect. It's about improving. It's about evolving, stretching yourself, and becoming someone greater than you were yesterday. A growth mindset doesn't just lead to success, it leads to resilience, confidence, and the ability to adapt in an ever-changing world. So the next time you're faced with a challenge, ask yourself, am I going to let this defeat me, or am I going to grow from it? The choice is always yours. The most powerful thing about a growth mindset is that once you adopt it, the possibilities are endless. Your story isn't finished, it's still being written, and you hold the pen. There comes a time when we're faced with a choice, to take a stand or to remain silent, to hold firm or to be swayed by the opinions and expectations of others. This choice defines who we are and what we value. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. What does it mean to stand for something? It means living in alignment with your core values. It means having principles that guide your actions, even when the world is pressuring you to compromise. It's about conviction, knowing what you believe in, and being unshakable in the face of opposition. History is full of people who stood for something. Martin Luther King stood for equality and justice. Rosa Parks believed in dignity and fairness. These were individuals who could have chosen the easier path of silence and compliance, but instead they stood tall. And because they did, they changed the course of history. But this isn't about famous names and grand gestures. It's about you and me. Every day we face moments that test our resolve. Moments when we're asked to compromise our values for convenience, approval, or comfort. Maybe it's standing up for someone who's been mistreated. Maybe it's saying no to an opportunity that doesn't align with your integrity. Or maybe it's simply having the courage to pursue your dreams even when others don't believe in them. Standing for something doesn't mean the road will be easy. In fact, it's the opposite. It takes courage to hold firm when others are telling you to let go. It takes strength to remain grounded when life feels like a storm. But the reward is always worth it. Because when you stand for something, you stand taller. You build self-respect. You inspire others to find their own courage. See, when you go through life without a clear set of values or beliefs, you become like a ship without an anchor, drifting wherever the tide takes you. You start chasing approval instead of purpose, conforming to what others expect instead of defining your own path. The world doesn't need more people who follow the crowd. It needs people who stand out. People who are willing to step up, even when it's uncomfortable. The first step is knowing what you believe in. Take some time to reflect on your values, your goals, and the person you want to be. Write it down. Make it real. Then live with those values every day. Let them guide your decisions. But be prepared to face challenges. Not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will understand. That's okay. Standing for something isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about staying true to yourself. Remember that standing for something doesn't mean you can't grow or change. Your values may evolve as you gain new experiences and perspectives. What matters is that you're intentional about who you are and what you stand for. So take a stand. Take a stand for your values, for your dreams, for the person you want to become. Because if you don't, the world will decide for you. And trust me, that's a far greater loss. Life doesn't go as planned. That's not a possibility, it's a guarantee. You'll face setbacks, challenges, and moments where everything you've worked for seems to crumble. But the measure of a person isn't found in what they avoid. It's found in how they adapt when those obstacles arise. When the path gets blocked, when the plan you spent months or even years pursuing suddenly collapses, what do? Too many people see these moments as the end. They stop, they quit, and they settle. But not you, not today. Today, I'm here to remind you that success isn't a straight line. It's about adjusting your approach and finding a way forward. See, adapting doesn't mean giving up on your goal. It means looking at the situation differently. If the front door is locked, try the back door. If the back door is locked, climb through a window. If there's no window, well then build one. You're not here to be stopped. You're here to figure it out no matter what. The greatest minds, the strongest athletes, the most accomplished leaders, they weren't handed their victories. They hit walls too. What made them different was their refusal to quit. See, when plan A didn't work, they moved to plan B. And if plan B didn't work, they found plan C, plan D, or even plan Z. But stopping, that was never an option. I want you to reflect for a moment. Are you holding too tightly to how things should have gone? Are you so focused on the original plan that you're missing the new opportunities in front of you? Sometimes life's detours aren't punishments. They're redirections. They're life's way of telling you to change your approach, to try something different, to grow. Adapting isn't just about strategy. It's about mindset. You have to believe in your ability to overcome, to navigate, and to adjust. It's not easy. Your mind will want to complain, to say, this isn't fair, or I didn't sign up for this. But fairness has nothing to do with the process. Success is about persistence, grit, and the willingness to get back up again and again. Remember, setbacks are temporary. They're not the defining moments of your life unless you let them. Regroup, recharge, reevaluate, but don't stop. Don't let the fear of trying something new or the frustration of not being where you thought you'd be keep you from moving forward. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every closed door forces you to look for an open one. Every time you're forced to adjust, you're building resilience, strength, and creativity. And those qualities will serve you far beyond the challenge you're facing right now. You have everything you need to make it through. The power to adjust is within you. Take a deep breath. Step back. Look at the challenge from another angle. The dream isn't gone. The road just looks a little different now. When life throws you a curveball, don't quit. Don't let frustration or fear convince you that it's over. Adapt, adjust, and keep going. The goal is still waiting for you. It's just asking you to find another way to reach it. This is your moment to prove to yourself and the world that you are unshakable. Not because life is easy, but because you refuse to give up. Reevaluate, regroup, and most importantly, keep moving forward. You've got this. Some people seem naturally strong, but for most of us, mental toughness takes work. And guess what? That's okay. Because even if you weren't born with mental toughness, you can develop it, because it's just like a muscle. Mental toughness isn't about pretending that life is easy. It's about showing up and doing your best, even when life feels impossible. It's about handling setbacks, doubts, and fears, but not letting them stop you. So let's talk about the steps to building mental toughness. First, start with self-compassion. Hey, listen, mental toughness doesn't mean being emotionless or always strong. It means knowing that it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes and still choosing to keep moving. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. When things get hard, don't beat yourself up. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a friend, like, it's tough right now, but you've got this. True toughness starts with kindness toward yourself. You can't grow stronger by being at war with yourself. Secondly, break big problems into small steps. I know life can be overwhelming, especially when you face challenges like loss, failure, or emotional struggles. But mental toughness doesn't require you to climb the entire mountain at once. You just need to take the first step. If you're overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now? Small wins build confidence, and over time they add up. Mental toughness isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about taking small, consistent actions, no matter how you feel. Third step, control what you can and let go of what you can't. One of the biggest energy drains is worrying about things beyond your control. Other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, or circumstances you can't change. Tough-minded people focus on what they can control, like your attitude, your effort, your actions. Ask yourself, What can I control in this situation? When you focus on the things you can change, you take your power back. The fourth step is learn to get comfortable with discomfort. Here's the hard truth that growth comes from discomfort. Mental toughness is built by sitting with uncomfortable emotions, fear, frustration, or self-doubt, without giving in or running away. When things get tough, pause and breathe. Remind yourself, I can do hard things. Each time you face discomfort, instead of avoiding it, you strengthen your mind. You learn that you are stronger than you think. Over time, you'll stop fearing discomfort because you'll know it's not here to break you. It's here to build you. The fifth step is adopt a long-term mindset. Toughness isn't about short bursts of effort. It's about endurance. It's about seeing setbacks as part of the process, not the end of the road. Life will throw curveballs your way, but the people who keep moving forward, even slowly, are the ones who succeed. Know that tough times won't last forever. Focus on progress, not perfection. If today is hard, tomorrow might be easier. Just keep showing up. Number 6 is celebrate progress, no matter how small. Mentally tough people don't wait until they've reached the finish line to celebrate. They recognize every step forward. Like, did you get out of bed today when you didn't feel like it? That's progress. Did you handle a difficult conversation without losing your cool? That's growth. Recognize and appreciate every effort you make. Your brain needs those reminders that you're moving in the right direction. You are stronger than you know. Mental toughness isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up every time you do. You're going to face challenges. That's life. But the more you practice showing up, the stronger you'll become. So when life knocks you down, and it will, get back up. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are tougher than you think. You have what it takes to build the life you want. One step, one challenge, one day at a time. So go out there and show yourself what you're capable of. Can I be real for a second? Too many people are lying to themselves. You say you want success, but your actions tell a different story. You talk about wanting to get in shape, start that business, or build a better relationship. But what do your daily habits look like? Are you putting in the work, or are you just talking about it? We all do it at some point. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow. We say, I'm serious this time, but we keep hitting snooze, skipping workouts, or making excuses for why we're not where we want to be. The truth hurts, but here it is. If your words and actions don't align, you're lying to yourself. And I get it. It feels good to dream. It feels good to say big things out loud, to talk about your future self and how amazing life will be someday. But let me ask you this. What good are those words if they never translate into action? It's easy to say you want to change. The hard part is doing what's required day in and day out. Stop pretending you're waiting for the right moment. You know deep down there's no perfect time. Waiting is just a cover for fear. You're not waiting for circumstances to change. You're waiting for your own courage to kick in. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't get real with yourself now, a year from today, you'll still be in the same place. Your actions define you, not your intentions. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if they never see the light of day, they mean nothing. It's what you do consistently that shapes your reality. Think about this. How many promises have you made to yourself that you haven't kept? You said you'd start working out, but you're still on the couch. You said you'd work on that passion project, but Netflix always wins. You said you wanted better relationships, but you're not putting in the effort to connect. Words are easy. Action is everything. You can't build the life you want by talking about it. You build it by living it. Every time you lie to yourself, every time your actions don't match your words, you chip away at your self-respect. Eventually, you stop trusting yourself, and that's when things fall apart. But here's the good news. It's never too late to turn things around. If you've been living a lie, today's the day to get honest with yourself. Stop saying what you're going to do and just do it. Start small if you have to, but start. Even the smallest actions create momentum. You don't need grand gestures to prove you're serious. You need consistent daily effort. It's in those small everyday decisions that success is born. If you show up every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, your actions will begin to align with your words. And that alignment, that's where self-respect, confidence, and real progress live. So stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a trap. It doesn't exist. All you have is right now. So stop talking and start doing. If your actions don't match your words, change your actions. Or change your words, but don't let them stay out of sync. Your future self is depending on you to get real today. So what are you waiting for? It's time to stop making excuses and start making moves. Get up, take action, and finally become the person you've been telling yourself you'd be. The only way forward is through honesty, and that starts right now. You know what? It's time to take the wheel. It's time to finally get in the driver's seat and take control of your life. Far too often we go through life feeling like victims of circumstance. We blame our past, we blame other people, or even fate for where we are. But I'll remind you, you are not a victim. You are the driver of your life. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I didn't choose my struggles, or I can't control what happens to me. And you're right, life isn't always fair. There are going to be challenges and setbacks and moments where everything feels out of control. But while you can't always choose what happens, you can always choose how you respond, and that's where the power lies. The problem is when you see yourself as a victim, you give up that power. You let circumstances dictate your decisions. You let fear and doubt make choices for you. But what if instead of waiting for things to change, you decided to change? Life's like a car. You can either be in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. In the driver's seat, you have control. You steer, you accelerate, you decide where to go. But in the passenger seat, you're just along for the ride, hoping things will get better, hoping the road will be smooth. But hope isn't a strategy, action is. Now, steering your life doesn't mean you won't hit bumps in the road. There's going to be detours, and sometimes you're going to feel lost. But as long as you have your hands on the wheel, you can always course correct. You can always get back on track. Take a moment and ask yourself, where have I been living like a passenger? What areas of my life have I let drift without direction? Maybe it's in your career or your health. Maybe it's your relationships, or maybe it's your mindset. Whatever it is, today's the day to grab the wheel. As we've so often heard, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is the mindset of a driver, not a passenger. It's about taking responsibility for your life, no matter what cards you've been dealt. It's about realizing that every moment is a chance to take control. And when you start to steer your life, amazing things happen. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming others. And you start taking action. You realize that you are not powerless. You're capable. You're strong. And you are the author of your story. Stop being a passenger in your own life. Don't wait for things to get better. Don't wait for someone else to change your situation. You're the one with the power, and you're the one who can make it happen. It's time to take the wheel.